The Marvel Cinematic Universe is home to some of the most powerful beings ever conceived, and among them stand two formidable sorcerers who have defied the very fabric of reality itself, Scarlet Witch and the Ancient One. Both wield abilities beyond human comprehension, but their powers, origins, and combat styles are vastly different. One is a master of structured magic, honed over centuries of discipline and training, while the other is a conduit of raw, chaotic energy, capable of rewriting existence with mere thoughts. If these two titans ever clashed, who would ultimately stand victorious? To determine the outcome, we must first analyze their histories, powers, and fighting styles before pitting them against one another in a hypothetical battle where no limitations exist. The Ancient One, the former Sorcerer Supreme, was a being of immense wisdom and power. Having lived for centuries, she had mastered the mystic arts, trained countless disciples, and safeguarded the earth from supernatural threats. Unlike most sorcerers, her knowledge extended beyond mere spellcasting. She understood the fundamental laws of the universe and how to bend them to her will. Her connection to the dark dimension, despite being controversial, extended her life and gave her an edge over almost any mystical adversary. She had full control over the mirror dimension, could manipulate time, and could even forcefully separate beings from their physical forms through astral projection. Scarlet Witch, on the other hand, is the chosen wielder of chaos magic, a force so powerful that it was believed to be a myth even among the most learned sorcerers. Unlike the Ancient One, who gained her powers through years of discipline, Wanda Maximoff was born with an innate magical connection. Though her abilities were enhanced by the Mind Stone, she was later revealed to be the fabled Scarlet Witch, a being prophesied to wield magic that defies reality itself. While the Ancient One followed strict magical principles, Wanda's abilities were unrestricted by any structured learning. Instead, her emotions fueled her power, allowing her to manipulate probability, control minds, warp reality, and even create entire alternate existences. Her mastery over chaos magic meant she could wield powers that no other sorcerer could predict or counter. With such vastly different approaches to magic, their battle would be one of discipline versus raw potential. But to truly understand the outcome, we must compare their strengths and weaknesses. Power versus experience, strengths and weaknesses. The Ancient One had a deep understanding of magic, dimensions, and the flow of time, making her one of the most skilled sorcerers to ever exist. Unlike Dr. Strange, who was still learning, the Ancient One had already perfected the arts of teleportation, mirror dimension manipulation, and cosmic energy control. She could see beyond the present, allowing her to anticipate events before they occurred. This foresight enabled her to prepare for powerful opponents, setting up countermeasures long before the battle even began. However, despite her skill, the Ancient One had limits. She relied on the Time Stone for temporal control, and her connection to the dark dimension, while powerful, was not without weaknesses. Without external sources of magic, she was still bound to certain fundamental rules of the universe. Scarlet Witch, however, had no such restrictions. She did not require spells, incantations, or relics to access her magic. She simply willed things into existence or destruction. Her telekinetic power alone was strong enough to destroy Ultron's machines, battle Thanos one-on-one, and dismantle entire armies without effort. Her ability to read minds and manipulate thoughts allowed her to break even the strongest warriors, forcing them into nightmarish visions or bending them to her will. But the true depth of her power was revealed in WandaVision, where she unknowingly created an entire alternate reality, complete with living beings, rewritten histories, and a reconstructed version of Vision. The fact that she could reshape reality on such a scale without even trying showcases why she may be one of the most dangerous beings in the entire multiverse. However, despite her immense strength, Wanda had one major weakness: her emotions. Unlike the Ancient One, who remained calm and calculated in every situation, Wanda was driven by grief, anger, and loss. Her powers often surged out of control when she was emotionally compromised, leading to unintended consequences. This lack of discipline was something that a highly skilled opponent like the Ancient One could potentially exploit in battle. Given these factors, the battle between them would come down to whether raw power can overpower centuries of wisdom and strategic foresight. The ultimate battle: strategy versus unstoppable force. If the Ancient One and Scarlet Witch engaged in a full-scale battle, it would be unlike any fight the MCU has ever seen. Both are capable of bending reality, which means the very fabric of existence around them would be shifting and warping as they fought. But how would each fighter approach this conflict? The Ancient One, being a master of strategy, would likely begin the battle by trapping Wanda in the mirror dimension. This would give her full control over the battlefield, while ensuring that Wanda's reality warping abilities did not directly affect the real world. With her ability to control space, she could shift the environment to her advantage, disorienting Wanda and attacking her from multiple angles. If necessary, she might attempt to use astral projection to separate Wanda's consciousness from her body, rendering her powerless. However, the problem with this strategy is that Wanda has already demonstrated an ability to counter Sorcerer defenses. In Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, she bypassed Kamartaj's magical barriers, overpowered numerous trained sorcerers, and even traveled between universes effortlessly. Even if the Ancient One trapped her in the mirror dimension, there is no guarantee that Wanda would not simply tear through it with raw chaos magic, just as she dismantled mystical defenses before. The biggest challenge for the Ancient One would be Wanda's reality warping abilities. If Wanda directly altered the fabric of existence, no amount of skill or strategy would matter. She could erase spells, negate magical laws, or even rewrite time itself. This level of unrestricted power is something the Ancient One had never encountered, even when facing Dormammu. On the other hand, the Ancient One's experience and foresight could allow her to set up contingencies against Wanda. If she anticipated the battle and devised a plan beforehand, she might find a way to limit or disrupt chaos magic, perhaps using relics or ancient spells beyond what Doctor Strange had access to. However, without a solid way to neutralize Wanda's abilities, she would be fighting a losing battle against a force of pure destruction. Final verdict: who truly wins? At the peak of their abilities, both the Ancient One and Scarlet Witch are nearly unstoppable, but one has a definitive edge. The Ancient One's mastery over time, dimensions, and spellcasting would allow her to hold her ground and challenge Wanda in ways most beings could not. However, power is power, and no amount of wisdom or preparation can fully counter the sheer overwhelming force of chaos magic. If the battle was determined by skill, tactics, and control, the Ancient One might have the upper hand. But in a straight fight with no restrictions, Scarlet Witch's power is too great to contain. She has already broken barriers that no other sorcerer could, and in a full-on confrontation, she would inevitably overwhelm the Ancient One. Final conclusion: Scarlet Witch wins. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.